What up? What up? What up, y'all? How's it going? Robin Lundberg Show, back and in full effect. Once again, it's on. Anyway, this is pretty interesting. The topic I want to start with today, actually, very interesting, I would say, and that is Nneka Ogwumike committing to the new Project B League. For those of you who are unaware, Project B is an upstart basketball league. It seemed like kind of just like an idea at first. I didn't know how real it was going to be, but obviously, if they're signing players, it is a real thing. And Project B is a league founded by the Skype co founder and a former Facebook executive. They plan to play starting in the fall of 2026 in Europe and Asia, with the season running through April of 2027. So not directly in competition with the WNBA season. However, the other aspect of this that is getting some attention is it is in partnership with Sela is the name of the company, which is an entertainment company owned by the Saudi Public Investment Fund. So you might see Saudi-backed league. It looked like they were trying to spin that a little bit yesterday as not having Saudi money. But if you're in partnership with an entertainment company that is run by or owned by the Saudi Public Investment Fund, then therefore you are in business with Saudi Arabia, right? That's just simple common sense. I'm not judging, a lot of places are in business with Saudi Arabia. The United States of America, in many ways, in business with Saudi Arabia. WrestleMania is going to be in Saudi Arabia. So it is what it is. But that is a subtext and a part of the conversation. Now, what makes this particularly interesting is Nneka Ogwumike's role in the WNBA. And that is, that is the real intriguing aspect of this. I mean, look at that. This is the WNBA Players Association posting this. Nneka OG, a new chapter built on purpose, partnership, and possibility. While they're in negotiations for a new CBA, it's essentially a shot across the bow. For the president of the Players Association, who is leading the negotiations from the players' side of the table to join a brand new league that seemingly has future aspirations of rivaling the WNBA, that's not nothing. That's not nothing. And the WNBA PA, to put that statement out there, I mean, they can easily spin it as leverage. We have, or our stars have, more avenues for earning. They can go get paid. They don't need the WNBA. Now, the WNBA brand and platform is a huge boost. There's no question. These other leagues wouldn't exist without that. But now with Unrivaled and with Project B, that's probably the argument. And the WNBA PA has not exactly been one that is, the most tactful at times. Remember the whole Christine Brennan thing with Dejanay Carrington? Like, that was not a very professional thing for a players association to put out there. The whole, whatever they said at the time, and wanting her credentials removed and all that stuff. So, that's another wrinkle in the CBA negotiations. So for the president of the Players Association to be the first to publicly commit to this league. Then on top of that, eventually, we don't know where things will go with Project B, but eventually eventually that league could offer more money for exclusivity. They could throw the bag for exclusivity. So lots to watch out for here as that develops. But it's certainly interesting. There's a lot of layers to that. And when you're from the WNBA side of things, right? Like Nafisa Collier is the one who took the shots at Kathy Engelbert, and she's a co-founder of Unrivaled. And Nneka Ogwumike, who's the president of the Players Association, is the first player to join Project B. This is a statement that, they're not going to accept exclusivity from the WNBA. I mean, barring some sort of massive salary increase. And then on top of that, you also have the fact that in these negotiations, the basic revenue sharing argument has come up a bunch. And that seems to be a real sticking point. And Nneka, when she signed on with this league, basically said the equity was a big part. Like, that's important to her, which is another message of share the revenue with us on the WNBA side of things, which seems to be the biggest sticking point, to be honest. I think the single biggest issue in the negotiations between the players and the league right now is revenue sharing. So, yeah, that's where we're at right now. And I think this is pretty fascinating, to be honest with you. I think it's a big deal too, given her role and given the aspirations of this Project B league, which is going to pay more than the WNBA and offer equity. So not only, is there more money just in base salary, there's equity. Same thing with Unrivaled, more money and equity. And that's so there are now, like, I don't know how many players, the math is there's 66 players in Project B. So that's not the whole league, right? But Unrivaled has another big chunk of that. Eventually you're getting to some options for players, for almost every player in the league, to have off-season revenue. The WNBA side of things, why are they hesitant to do revenue sharing to the same degree? Well, because the pie is not divided equally. The WNBA is owned by not only the WNBA owners, but the NBA owners as well, not to mention the private investors that took on a portion of the league. So 16% of the league, I think. And now all the players are trying to capitalize on what just happened. Now, I think they need to be careful. I've said this before, not to overplay their hand or not to be too hostile in the way that they're going about business and the like. And, this could turn into a live golf type situation. People wouldn't have thought, people would just bounce off the PGA Tour, but they did for the bag. Now, the most important figure here remains Caitlin Clark in any sort of conversation. She has always made it a point to say that it was her dream to play in the WNBA and to make the WNBA a place that other players would want to play, young girls would want to play. So as long as that's consistent, I mean, the WNBA, whoever has Caitlin Clark's commitment is in the best position. Now, she stood with the players at the All-Star weekend with the pay us what you owe us. Again, my joke is always it could say pay us what you owe her shirts. So she's in line with the players. She gave approval to Nafisa Collier's statement as well. And yeah, that's where we sit right now. But very interesting to me for the president of the Players Association to be the first player to join Project B, which again is another league that is not necessarily directly competing right now, but may have dreams of compete. I don't know why I'm doing the quotes. Nobody quoted that. Could have visions of competing with the WNBA. And then on top of that, bringing that to the negotiating table. Speaking of Caitlin Clark, she's just going to be playing golf. Right. She's doing that Nneka tournament again. And now she has some caddies, Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull. So that should be fun. Yeah, clearly we have a lot to learn about golf. It's 4, bud. That's in response to Sophie Cunningham putting 4 as the number 4 versus FORE. So you know, that's the situation with the golf. I went back into the Project B mode there. I'm in the fun topic now, and then I was back in serious guy mode. That's the situation. Therein lies the complex ramifications of the fun golf tournament and the caddying. But I mean, like, it does show you the bond and the brand power of Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull on top of Caitlin Clark, right? And maybe it's also a bit of an indication that the discussion around Sophie Cunningham's future got a little blown out of proportion relative to what the actual reality was, considering, you know, Sophie still seems like in the mix, and Caitlin's opinion on Sophie or anyone goes a long way, right? It goes a long way because Caitlin is the organization. And ultimately, if she says, you know, this player's got to be here, that player will be there. Not saying she is doing that with Sophie Cunningham, but she's got that sort of power for sure, and that sort of leverage. But it'll be fun to see them all out there next week on the golf course together. You know, Sophie she's a firecracker. That's for sure. And the Fever, like, it's wild, man. The Fever still got buzz and interaction even in this super, super long off season. I see the numbers and everything, but the Fever are super super relevant always. And that got a lot of attention, just the fact that they're going to caddy for Caitlin Clark. All right, guys, I'll get to the comment section. Oh, one other thing I was going to touch on real quick is the end of ESPN Bet, which I saw coming. I mean, they got to the market too late when you already had FanDuel and DraftKings and BetMGM, and then like another big player like Fanatics comes in. ESPN Bet sounded like a bad idea from the beginning to me, both from them being late to the market and the association with ESPN. Because if you're ESPN, you run into this kind of problem, right? You're covering a story like Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups, and then you got ESPN Bet at the bottom of the screen. And that's the reality of things. So goodbye, ESPN Bet. Bon voyage. It was good to know you for the short period of time that you were around. That's all I really got to say about that. Hit like and subscribe to the channel, please. Make sure you get those thumbs up and everything else in. And let me get to the comments section. Just wanted to pop in and say hello. Member chats, super chats go first. We can still organize a members event as well. Good morning, Chris. What up, Kev? What's going on, Ernesto? What's up, Brett? Activists and less money is involved. Saudi and women's sports seems like an odd mix. Yeah, I mean, look, I try not to get on my high horse about this, to be honest, because America's got its hands in so many things too. and so many different companies have done business with Saudi Arabia. I get it. Like, I understand the moral aspect, especially from a human rights women's standpoint, or any other group that is not treated the same. And then there was what happened with the journalist there as well. There's not that they're trying to hide the direct through line, because they said, I think it was Doug Feinberg, who does great work for the Associated Press. He wrote in his thing that there's not direct Saudi investment, or it's not Saudi funded. But again, they're working with an entertainment company that is owned by the Saudi Public Investment Fund. So make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. The whole live golf thing. And they did bump the CBA back 30 days. Chris with another comment. Cece and Sophie Lexie on the golf course should be hilarious to watch. Yeah, I mean, look, all of that definitely should be hilarious to watch. That's next week, by the way, November 12th, next week. So we shall see how that works out. Plan B season for Plan B. Project B, guys, from November to April. WNBA from May through October, so no offseason. A WNBA player can't realistically play in Project B. Need time to heal and recover. I mean, that's a good point. That is a good point. That is a long... I mean, that's what Caitlin Clark did for Iowa. That's what Paige Beckers just did right now. Thank you for that, Laser. Like I said, member chats, super chats go first, but I will start to go to the peons. Good morning in National Nachos Day. There you go. Nachos are delicious. There's no question about that. The PGA now in business with Saudi Arabia. That's right. Didn't they do some deal? Hey, we haven't had Basil here. Oh, well, they're not playing in Saudi Arabia. I don't believe. But we'll see. I mean, I mean, it's a pretty bold move. That's a bold strategy, Cotton, to have the president of the Players Association sign up for this new league in the midst of the negotiations. That's why I found it interesting. Caitlin is deaf behind the scenes and need to embrace what she bought. Well, look, I mean, I think Caitlin has to be having her voice heard, because if you're the WNBA side of things, you could use that argument against the players as well, right? Like, you could use Caitlin Clark against the rest of the players to say so much of this growth, even if they won't say it publicly, has been built around one player. Take that one player away, what do you got? Like, that is definitely something the league itself could argue behind closed doors. And there's certainly a reason Nafisa Collier brought her up, right? Because Collier wanted to make sure that people were paying attention. And she got people to pay attention with the Caitlin Clark name drop. No question. No question. And that's what got that splashed all across front pages and talked about on talk shows and everything else. Brett Atwood says, how are you feeling with the kickoff of NCAA women's basketball? We need some real matchups first, but I've seen some of it at UConn. I love Sarah Strong. I've said it a million times. I love Sarah Strong. UConn is a force to be reckoned with her and AZ Fudd out in the lineup. Watching Mylasia Wiley with LSU should be a ton of fun. She did great off the bench. And that is certainly an exciting subplot this season. There's some new players coming in. Jazzy Davidson with USC. Then than the players that have been around for a while. I saw a lot of attention around Audie Crooks last night. So definitely, excited. I just need to see, it has to pick up a little bit, get some real matchups and get some buzz going. But it's good that, there's some action tipped off. And I hear, I know the Iowa fans are pretty excited about their team as well. Kevin says no love for the Knicks. Brown nose ball. Did the Knicks play again? Did the Knicks, Kevin and I in the group chat, I still don't understand why they fired Tom Thibodeau, to be honest. Did the Knicks play last night? Oh, they beat the Timberwolves. There you go. They beat the Timberwolves. Holy crap, the Nets won? I didn't even realize. I went to bed early last night. The Nets get their first victory of the season. Wow. No points for Cam Thomas in that game either. In 6 minutes of play. Wonder, if that was a coincidence or not. I was at the game the other day for my son's birthday. And Cam Thomas was not really looking for teammates on the perimeter to swing the ball. Definitely not. I want to see them play the rookie more. Igor Dimin. He's got some potential. The Knicks are now, 5-3? There you go. Bouncing back a little bit. They beat the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards return in that game. Looking at the numbers, Brunson 23, Anunoby, who's a good player, 25. That was always a big pickup for them. Good balance scoring from the Knicks. Josh Hart seems like he's got stuff figured out too. So that's good for them. Hannah Stolke has a stoke this year. There you go. Sophie eating Arby's on the green would shut down the tournament. Sure. Sophie got all those deals, man. She got those deals, that's for sure. Love Hannah Hidalgo. I love Hannah Hidalgo too. Notre Dame looked good, albeit against FDU. Yeah. I love Hannah Hidalgo also. Look, that is she is a dog. That's for sure. I'm not really calling you peons, Miss Roto Wings. It's a joke. I appreciate everybody who's in here watches, or it's just said in jest. It's a wrestling thing too. For those of you who don't know, I'm a big pro wrestling fan, and it's like Bobby the Brain, who used to call people peons all the time. Somebody used to always call people peons. I just find the word funny. I was not actually calling you peons. The people who aren't paying for super chats or member chats. Just a joke, guys. Just a joke. Anyhow, like I said, I've been working on something big. Hopefully, I have be able to announce that pretty soon. Make sure you click the links in the description as well. But that's what I wanted to hop on and talk about today. We can also organize a member event, but you're trying to get back in the flow of things a little bit, and wanted to make sure I still come in with the lives when I can. The Plan B thing did crack me up earlier in the show. Isn't that's the birth control? Well, not even birth control. Is it birth control? I guess it is birth control. It controls a birth. It was definitely something that, caught me off guard a little bit. Project B is what they're calling. Maybe they give it a full title down the line. But for her to sign on, that's something to watch. That is not insignificant. Nneka Ogwumike, of all people, committing to Project B first. Certainly not insignificant whatsoever. Get those likes and subscribes in. Any other comments, anything else you want to talk about? You can hit me up right now in the waning moments here. But that's what I wanted to discuss on the program. It's not, I'll be real with you. It's not exactly the most pulsating, heavy, content rich time of the year for this subject matter. This is true. Everything Caitlin Clark is a part of is turned to gold. Definitely true. I've never really seen anything like it. I've never really seen anybody drive quite as much interest as she does, or have as much dedication as she does. Hey, Basil, very, very nice of you to say. You said something nice. I appreciate it. Thank you. We can do a members event next week for sure. Let's lock that in. Okay. Members event next week. We will have one next week. If you want, we could do tomorrow, but I feel like that's too short a notice. So we will have one next week. Appreciate you, Chris. Appreciate everybody, even the peons in the discussion. Get any other chats. And I'm not like on a hard timeline, so I can take some more comments if you want. I just don't have much else to say, per se. So the Saudi aspect of this stuff is going to be interesting, but this is a day late, but Kanye can give Jay-Z a run for his money in a versus battle. Kanye is the only one who I think has a chance. Kanye's just too unstable. Kanye can't handle himself from the performance standpoint because he has the catalog and he has the production credits and he has Jay-Z songs that he produced. Kanye is the only person I think who could, with the material, stand toe-to-toe with Jay-Z. But he cannot present like Jay-Z can. And I don't think he can strategize the same way Jay-Z can. And even if it's really close, I lean toward Jay-Z's catalog for depth and everything. But I don't disagree. That's what I said. I think Kanye is the closest to giving Hove competition. I don't know if it's really the name of it or the working title. Just a kid from Brooklyn, Plan B. That is kind of funny. All right, y'all. That will do it for me, I believe, here on this day. Get any more? You got a second? You can get some more likes and subscribes in, but and comments, obviously, in as well. But otherwise, I think that will wrap things up. Plan B should sponsor the show. All right, members only event. Let's get Ollie in Florida. Let's go, everyone. Come on. What about the unrivaled team lineups here? I can share them with you. Unrivaled. See if I can find a good graphic that makes it pretty clear. Okay, here you go. So Noel Quinn's team: Paige Beckers, Rakia Jackson, Dominique Malonga, Ari McDonald, Kate Martin, Cameron Brink. Very young team. That's an interesting team. The Hive: Kelsey Mitchell, Sonia Citron, Ezzy, Natisha Heidemann, Sanaya Rivers, Monique Billings. Kelsey Mitchell will be entertaining to watch there for sure. The Laces: Jackie Young, Brittany Sykes, Alyssa Thomas, Jordan Canada, Maggie Segrist, and Naz Hillman. The Owls: Skylar Diggins, Marina Mabry, Nafisa Collier, Rachel Banham, Rebecca Allen, Aaliyah Edwards. The Mist: Alicia Gray, Brianna Stewart, Alana Smith, Veronica Burton, Arike Agumbawale, Lee Euro. The Phantom: Kelsey Plum, Satu Sabalia, Leah Boston, Dana Evans, Natasha Cloud, Kiki Iriafen. The Rose: Chelsea Gray, Kalia Copper, Azare Stevens, Sutton, Lexie Hull, Shakira Austin. In Vinyl: Courtney Williams, Ryan Howard, Dearica Hamby, Erica Wheeler, Ray Burrell, Brittany Griner. So, those are the teams. The Breeze is interesting for sure because of the makeup. I'm interested to see Kelsey Mitchell play in the league. And then, as it goes with like something like Project B, and this is for Unrivaled too, if you notice, like Caitlin Clark, Asia Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Angel Reese, as of now, aren't doing any off-season basketball leagues because the players who have the biggest profile don't need the extra money or the off-season basketball leagues. So that's another dynamic to watch out for, because obviously any league that lands players like that, specifically Caitlin Clark, would have tremendous leverage, but it doesn't seem like Caitlin Clark has any interest in doing another basketball league beyond the WNBA. Sabrina Ionescu and Angel Reese did Unrivaled last year. They're not doing Unrivaled this year. And Asia Wilson hasn't done it either because, that necessity is more for the players who aren't making as much off the court as some of the more high profile stars. All right, y'all. That'll do it for today. Until the next one,